2 minutes is all it takes to turn love into frustration. When intimacy fades, can a couple survive on love alone? Let's find out in Sophia and Henry's story. In a quiet neighborhood lived Henry and Sophia, a couple that seemed perfect on the outside. They had the house, the cars, and the life many dreamt of. But beneath the surface, there was a storm blowing, one that no one could see. Henry loved his wife deeply, but he had a secret he couldn't shake. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't last long enough in bed to satisfy Sophia. 2 minutes and it was over. At first, Sophia was patient. She believed love could overcome anything. But as time went on, the frustration grew. Knowing at the foundation of their marriage, Sophia's friends would talk about their intimate life, and she felt embarrassed. Why can't I have what they have? She often thought. The more she tried to talk to Henry about it, the more he withdrew. He started avoiding their bedroom, afraid of facing the inevitable disappointment. One night, after another failed attempt, Sophia finally broke down. "Henry, I can't keep doing this. I love you, but this is tearing us apart. We need help." Henry, ashamed and hurt, tried to brush it off. "I am doing my best, Sophia. Do you think I want this? Do you think it doesn't kill me to see you unhappy?" But Sophia was relentless. "Love isn't just about surviving, Henry. It's about thriving, and right now, we are barely holding on." In that moment, Henry realized that if he didn't seek help, he would lose Sophia. And so, they embarked on a journey to save their marriage. Seeking therapy, talking openly about their fears and frustrations, and trying to rediscover the intimacy they had lost. The road was long and filled with challenges, but for the first time in years, Henry and Sophia felt like they were truly partners again. They learned that love wasn't about perfection, but about facing flaws together, hand in hand. As Henry and Sophia began their journey towards healing, they realized it wasn't just about physical satisfaction, but emotional connection. They started spending more time together outside the bedroom, rebuilding their bond in small but meaningful ways. They would take long walks, share deep conversations, and laugh like they hadn't in years. Sophia, while still frustrated, saw the effort Henry was putting in, and it softened her heart. She suggested they see a specialist together, hoping he would not only help their physical intimacy but also remove the weight of shame that had lingered between them. Henry hesitated at first, pride and fear holding him back, but eventually he agreed. At the therapist's office, they both poured out their feelings. Henry spoke about the pressure he felt to be perfect, how every failure in bed made him feel less of a man. Sophia, on the other hand, expressed her sadness and the loneliness she felt when intimacy was missing from their marriage. The therapist listened carefully and offered solutions. Exercise, healthier communication, and technique to manage the anxiety that often cut their moments short. Little by little, Henry began to change. The shame that once consumed him started to melt away as he realized that his worth as a husband and a man was not defined by his performance. Sophia too learned to be more patient and supportive, understanding that the issue wasn't something Henry could control, but something they could overcome together. Their intimate moment became more about closeness than time. Instead of focusing on how long it lasted, they started savoring every touch, every kiss, and every shared glance. The passion, once buried under layers of frustration, began to blow again. Months passed, and while their journey was far from perfect, Henry and Sophia were closer than ever. They had built a foundation of trust, understanding, and compassion that transcended the physical. For the first time in years, they weren't just surviving, they were thriving. And though Henry's condition did vanish overnight, the love they had for each other was stronger than any frustration. They had discovered that true intimacy wasn't just about performance, it was about vulnerability, trust, and the willingness to face challenges together. As Henry and Sophia continued their journey of rediscovery, they faced new challenges. Therapy had opened the doors to communication, but the emotional scars of years of frustration weren't easy to heal. The weight of their shared history still lingered, and there were moments when they both wondered if love was enough to overcome the pain. One evening, after a particularly intense therapy session, Sophia broke the silence as they sat in the car, the engine humming softly beneath them. "Henry," she began, her voice steady but thick with emotion, "I need to ask you something." Henry shifted uncomfortably, gripping the steering wheel. "What is it? Do you ever feel like maybe we are trying too hard? Like maybe we are forcing something that's not meant to be?" Her words were like a cold breeze, sending a shiver down his spine. Henry looked at her, startled. He had been so focused on fixing the problem that he hadn't considered the possibility that Sophia might want to give up. He could see the doubt in her eyes, the exhaustion from fighting the same battle for so long. "Sophia, he paused, gathering his thoughts. "I know it's been hard, and I know I've let you down so many times, but I don't want to lose you. I can't imagine my life without you. I am willing to do whatever it takes, even if it takes forever." Sophia's eyes welled up with tears. She wasn't sure if she could keep going, but she loved him deep down. She wanted to believe that they could overcome this together, but the road ahead seemed so long and uncertain. "I don't know how much longer I can keep pretending everything is okay," she whispered, her voice cracking. Henry felt a wave of desperation wash over him. He reached for her hand, but she pulled away, wiping her tears. The silence between them grew heavier by the second. Days turned into weeks, and despite their best efforts, the tensions only grew. Henry began to feel the weight of Sophia's fading hope, and it terrified him. He was trying everything: therapy, reading, working on himself, but every time they came close to intimacy, the fear of failure loomed large, suffocating any chance of success. One night, after another disappointing moment in bed, Sophia turned to Henry with a weary expression. "I can't keep pretending, Henry. I am exhausted. I am lonely. I need more than this." Henry's heart sank. He had seen this coming, but it still hurt to hear. He had done everything he could, but it never seemed to be enough. "Sophia, I love you. Please don't give up on us." "I am not giving up on us," she replied, her voice soft but firm. "But we need to face the truth. We are hurting each other by pretending that love is enough. It's not just about the bedroom, Henry. We've lost something deeper, and I don't know if we can get it back. That night, Sophia slept in the guest room, and for the first time in their marriage, Henry felt completely alone. The next morning, he woke up to the sound of Sophia packing a bag. Panic surged through him. "Sophia, wait. What are you doing?" he asked, his voice shaky. "I need some space, Henry. I need to figure out if I can keep doing this." Her eyes were sad but resolute. Henry wanted to beg her to stay, to promise he could change even more, but deep down he knew that space might be the only thing that could help them now. "Okay," he whispered, his throat tight. "I will give you space, but please don't leave me for good." Sophia nodded, her eyes glistening with shed tears. "I just need time, Henry. I am not saying goodbye, not yet." As he walked out the door, Henry stood in the empty hallway, feeling the crushing weight of uncertainty. He had always believed that love would conquer anything, but now he was faced with the terrifying reality that sometimes love might not be enough. In the days that followed, Henry was left alone with his thoughts. The silence of the house was deafening, and every room reminded him of Sophia. He realized that he had been so focused on fixing the physical aspect of the relationship that he had neglected the emotional wounds that had festered between them for so long. He made a decision then to work not just on himself but on everything that had led them to this point. He threw himself into therapy with renewed determination, learning not just how to manage his performance anxiety, but how to reconnect with Sophia on a deeper level. He read books on communication, empathy, and vulnerability, trying to understand where he had gone wrong. Weeks later, Sophia called. "Can we talk?" she asked. Henry's heart raced. Of course. They met at a cafe, and for the first time in months, there was a sense of calm between them. Sophia looked tired, but there was a softness in her eyes that gave Henry a glimmer of hope. "I've been thinking a lot," Sophia began, "about us, about everything, and I realized something. I still love you, Henry, but I need to know that this time things will really change, not just for a little while, but for good." Henry took a deep breath. "I've been working on myself, Sophia, not just for us, but for me. I know I can fix everything overnight, but I'm willing to keep trying. I want to rebuild what we lost together." Sophia smiled faintly, the first real smile he had seen from her in what felt like ages. "I want that too," she said quietly, and in that moment they both knew that while the road ahead was still uncertain, they had something worth fighting for, something stronger than frustration, stronger than doubt. They had love, and this time they were determined to make it worth.